Okay. Yeah, I heard that case 4 is not very well liked. Look. Okay. We don't have a lot of clues this time. Okay, so file. The victim is Nekomaru Nidai, aka Mekamaru. After his robotic transformation, his body was discovered in Great Tower, which is inside the funhouse. His head is severely damaged and beyond repair, so that shall be considered the cause of death. Despite the fact that his arms and legs are dismembered, these limbs were actually designed to be detachable, and it seems to be separated due to the severe impact. Aside from that, several other areas of this body are damaged. Because of this, many of his functions seem to have shut down. Nekomaru's body and left leg were tied up in a metal wire. The tip of that wire was also tied into that loop. A button on the back of Nekomaru's neck. When this button is pressed, all of Nekomaru's functions cease and is forced to enter sleep mode. Oil that is flowing out of Nekomaru's body, the majority of it came from his fatal head wound. One of the pillars on the side of the door was tipped over. The damaged area of the pillar is also stained. It was so heavy that even two people couldn't budge it. An enormous hammer found on the floor of the tower. It was completely clean, almost as if it was brand new. A chain was wrapped around the handles of the door at the back of Great Tower. For some reason, the killer was able to enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. Apparently, Akane heard a rumbling noise around 5:30 a.m. A lot of small pieces of stone were scattered underneath Nekomaru's body. However, there are no fragments on top of his body. Apparently, Fuyuhiko saw Nekomaru walking down the first floor of the Strawberry House around 5 a.m. At 5:30 a.m., the alarm of the wall clock in the lounge on Strawberry House's second floor started going off. Fuyuhiko was at the lounge by coincidence and managed to stop the alarm, but Kazuichi and Gundam rushed to the lounge after being alerted by the sound. However, Nagito was the only one who didn't hear it. The contact elevator used to move between both houses was broken and no longer worked. It was apparently broken. Used it. The button in Strawberry Hall that opens the door leading to the tower was broken. Nagito was supposed to be at Strawberry House, but he appeared at Grape House via some unknown method. The contact elevator should have been broken. Apparently, the compass's needle spun 180 degrees while it was inside the contact elevator. Nekomaru's used his alarm clock to recover from sleep mode. The clock's arms are stopped at around 7:30, and the alarm was set to 7:30 as well. The clock that Nekomaru's chest receives radio waves at fixed intervals and automatically adjusts itself. Anyway, basically it's an amazingly precise clock that can't be tampered with, not even to set the time. A doorknob found under the tipped-over pillar. The screws at the base are pulled out, and there are some scratch marks on the knob itself. One of the doorknobs from the far back house of Strawberry House was missing, so this doorknob was originally attached to that door. Regardless of whether you enter the tower from Grape Hall or Strawberry Hall, the placement of Nekomaru's body was the taped over pillar, the oil stains, and even the dismantled parts Kazuichi arranged looked exactly the same. This feels a little confusing. Now I have lots of skills. Difficulties at normal? Yes. Let's begin. Alright.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
It's a little quiet.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. I'm sure you guys are starving by now, but let's get revved up and raring to go. Whoever survives will be treated to a fancy lunch. Guess what? Rabbit curry is on the menu.
Huh? I'm not the main ingredient, right?
I'm here today because Coach Nekomaru risked his life to protect me.
Twice.
I'm gonna be the one who avenges him. I'll definitely find out who the killer is. I'm definitely not tempted by curry. Got it?
Akane, you seem to have an impressive amount of drool flowing from your mouth.
Hey, why don't we try going over the incident? We weren't able to leave Strawberry House, so I want to make sure we get a detailed understanding.
I discovered Nekomaru's body a little before 7 a.m. I headed over to Grape Tower for Monokuma Taichi and found the body there. Hajime and Chiaki were also with me.
Hajime was with Miss Sonia and Chiaki that early in the morning? Don't tell me you three were together since last night!
Imbecile! I am not some woman with flexible legs.
Of course you're not. You're much classier than that.
With legs like those, I could probably do the splits real easy.
We just happened to run into each other on the first floor of Grape House and went to the tower together.
And then, the three of us discovered Nekomaru's body.
The body discovery announcement was made soon after. Akane heard that and rushed over.
We heard the body discovery announcement too, from Strawberry House, obviously. As I recall, we found out the elevator was out of order, which left us stuck.
So we decided to go to the tower for the time being and headed for Strawberry Hall. But someone even broke Strawberry Hall's door button. We couldn't go anywhere because of that.
Thinking we should at least find some method to communicate, we set our sights on the lounge telephone.
Forget these boring intros. Let's talk about the killer. Anyway, it's definitely someone from Strawberry House.
I think so too.
What do you mean, definitely?
There's no way a chick would kill someone so cruelly. So it must be one of you Strawberry House dudes.
Well, I think differently, but I still think it's someone from Strawberry House.
One of you better hurry up and confess, or I'll break all of you in half!
You're the cruelest one here!
Now, enough with the lovers' quarrel. We need to think about this seriously. We don't have the luxury of discussing irrelevant things. The incident this time has many questions.
The incident notwithstanding, I also have many questions.
Then let's start with something even Miss Sonia can understand. The weapon. Well, the weapon is obvious, right? What the heck, you guys? The weapon! You can totally tell just by looking.
Can tell what the weapon is just by looking. It wouldn't be much of a mystery if that were true. The only thing at the crime scene that looked like a weapon was probably... You know, it's too obvious for it to be the what's its name? The hammer. I think it's the pillar.
I guess we should figure out the weapon first.
The weapon was right there at the scene of the crime!
That pillar, huh?
No, the hammer! The killer used that hammer and beat the crap out of him.
If it was unexpected, I suppose that is possible.
That's right. It was a surprise beating. The weapon is decided.
The hammer and the towel. The tower was the weapon. Like he said, it looks like that's the case, but
I guess we should figure out the weapon first.
The weapon was right there at the scene of the crime.
new looking hammer.
That pillar, huh?
Okay, I guess
No,
that
the
makes
hammer the
sense.
killer used and beat the crap out of him.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I just wasn't thinking straight.
No, I can't accept that that hammer was the murder weapon.
Why not? Why can't you accept it?
A lot of oil was flowing from Nekomaru's body, just like human blood, right? If the hammer was used to beat Nekomaru, you'd expect some oil to be on it at least.
But that hammer was clean. So that's why you can't accept that it's the murder weapon.
Yeah, but the killer might have wiped off the oil later.
Why?
Well, obviously, to make the hammer look like it's not the murder weapon.
Then why bother cleaning the oil? If they didn't want it to look suspicious, they would have discarded the hammer.
True.
Pretty insightful, baby gangsta.
Baby gangsta.
Baby gangsta? Me?
Just so you all know, I was trying to test you guys. I thought, maybe you guys mistook the hammer for the weapon or something.
Seems that was a waste of time.
Then what was the real weapon used to murder Nekomaru?
I think it's the pillar.
That's the problem. There wasn't anything else at the crime scene that looked like a potential weapon.
Then, how about we look at it from a different angle? If it doesn't have oil on it, it's not the weapon. So whatever has oil on it must be the weapon, right?
The actual weapon has oil on it, but if there's something at the crime scene that had oil on it, it was the broken pillar.
I see!
Oh, I do
The
gain
only
more
thing
health.
with oil on it is that broken pillar.
Then that pillar is the weapon. Coach Nekomaru got clobbered with that pillar.
Nobody could withstand a blow from that pillar. Even if you used 100% of your muscle strength, it would be impossible to wield it as a weapon.
Why?
We even tried it, Akane. It's no use. It's barely budging. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, that pillar was pretty freaking heavy. But there's one dude who could have lifted that pillar.
Huh? Who are you talking about?
Coach Nekomaru's robot body. With that dude's super strength, lifting a pillar would be real easy.
That's impossible.
So, he lifted the pillar, and then what? Did he use it to beat himself?
You mean Nekomaru killed himself?
Don't be stupid. He ain't the type to commit suicide.
Then even if Nekomaru could have lifted that pillar, it has nothing to do with the case at all.
Well, I guess you're right.
What the heck?
But it does bother me a little. That word, ending. By the way, the fourth murder of the killing school life was apparently ruled a suicide. That's not the Nagito voice. No, that shouldn't matter. There's no way Nekomaru would have ended himself.
But that's a problem. If it's not the pillar, then there's no other weapon we can think of.
There may be a way to use the pillar as a weapon without lifting it.
Huh? For reals?
Yes, for reals.
I see. So my gut was right after all. All right, it's up to you, Sonia. Prove that pillar was the murder weapon.
Understood. Then I shall give it my all. Sonia, here I go!
Maybe he fell? Let's just hear what she has to say.
There's no need to lift that pillar.
If the pillar was not lifted, beating him with it is beyond a dream.
What about tipping the pillar over?
Nope, too heavy.
They aimed right for his head and bullseye.
Too heavy.
Even I could probably tip it over. Considering the pillar's weight, it probably exerted a ton of force.
Sonia, you go, girl! I'm getting hella excited!
The killer murdered Nekomaru by tipping over that pillar? Is that really it? Yeah.
There's no
I
need
think
to
it
lift
has to
that
do with the
pillar.
fragments.
If the pillar was not lifted,
Let's try and
Beating him with it is-
shoot
What
down.
about tipping the pillar over?
There we
No,
go.
that's wrong. If Nekomaru was crushed by the pillar, then there should have been fragments on top of his body.
Huh? Fragments?
The pillar fragments were scattered beneath Nekomaru's body. But if the pillar had been tipped over and crushed him, the fragments should have been on top of his body instead.
I briefly considered that too, but it's probably not what happened.
I see. That was entirely my bad.
It's not your fault.
If they
It was
didn't
just a
tip it over,
guess.
Then
You
how
were
did
just
the
putting
killer murder
theories.
Nekomaru with that pillar?
How much longer are you gonna focus on the pillar? Just let it go already.
It's the murder weapon.
There's no way I can let it go. I'm positive that Nekomaru was killed by that pillar.
Why are you so certain about that?
I just have a feeling.
A feeling, huh? That's just your instincts.
But we can't say for sure that that instinct is wrong, can we?
Huh?
There's another way to use that pillar to kill. You guys just haven't noticed it.
Is that true?
then I shall ask you, what way is that?
You guys, same as usual. You're unable to clear a path to the future with your own powers, so you just stand there and falter. What a waste of talent. And you all intend to fight the Future Foundation? You make me laugh. What did you say? Regardless, it's not like I want to die with the rest of you. So I guess I should lend a hand.
Hey, Nagito, what the hell happened to you? How come you're not talking like a lunatic anymore?
I've learned a valuable lesson. Ignorance is by far the greatest shame.
Huh? What do you mean?
Who cares? Just tell us how the pillar was used to kill.
Well, first of all, the pillar itself is not enough. But when combined with a specific item, there's a way it could be possible.
A specific item?
Of course, the ultimate weapon.
Right.
Ultimate weapon?
Isn't that the thing you get when you clear the final dead room?
So, Nagito knows what the ultimate weapon is?
Of course I know, but I'm pretty sure everyone else has seen it, you know?
Really? You've seen it?
That's right. You've seen it clearly. Because I, the one who has claimed dominion over evil, am the ultimate weapon.
No.
I am he who cuts the insolent catalyst which flows out from the chaos with the sword of victory. It's only fitting that I deserve to be called the ultimate weapon.
No, my shivers are gone now.
No, you are far greater than the ultimate weapon, since you wield your 4 dark daggers of destruction.
I see.
I don't know why, but I'm not liking this.
Cut the bullshit and say it clearly. What is the ultimate weapon?
In order to clarify that, we first need to solve the secret of the funhouse.
God, after you gave me a
Secret of the
freaking heart
funhouse?
attack last time.
You still don't realize it? Jeez, get it together. You're supposed to be the symbols of hope, aren't you? Ah, I forgot.
Except for Hajime.
of course.
Except for Hajime?
If we make it out of this, I'll explain it to you guys.
Anyway, we must first clarify the secret of the funhouse, right? Then I think it must have something to do with the structure of the funhouse. Strawberry House leads to Strawberry Tower, and Grape House leads to Grape Tower. But in actuality, they are both the same building, and both houses are linked to the central tower. It is
Prince.
undeniable that such a sweet building structure is the secret of the funhouse.
Man, not only does that make perfect sense, but Miss Sonia's beautiful voice is just...
Oh yeah, because for some reason, even though I name it something else, it keeps the title of the last stream. So ignore the title.
Faux show! I shall leave this matter to your discretion.
Yeah, I always have to change it like after the stream is over for some reason. I ended up finding proof that completely contradicts that. Contradicts what? Contradicts that the houses are connected?
In truth, Strawberry Tower and Grape Tower are actually the exact same place.
So that's the secret of the funhouse.
Is that really it?
It's weird to say they're both the same place. I mean, the walls are different colors. And the designs on the floor are also different.
We've already settled this problem. Give it 10 years before you
Strange
argue with
feeling
Miss
in the
Sonia.
tower. What's strange? Is that the thing with Nagito going between the houses? Let me see that. No, that's Nagito's sudden appearance. Oh, this. This whole time we've been thinking the two towers are the same building, but if that's the only mystery, there's no way Nagito would mention it in here.
In truth, Strawberry Tower and Grape Tower are actually the exact same place.
What if I... There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I was overthinking it.
Both of those towers, are they really the same place?
What? Why are you asking that now? Do you harbor a grudge because my kingdom destroyed your homeland?
Hajime, I won't tolerate any sort of rebellion.
Calm down,
I
Kazuichi.
mean, doesn't it seem strange? When we went to Grape Tower from Grape Hall, Nekomaru's body was in front of the door to Strawberry Hall. But when we went to Strawberry Tower from Strawberry Hall, his body was in front of the door to Grape Hall.
Yes.
It's probably some kind of trick, like the floor rotating 180 degrees or something. If it is, then see? That means it could have passed as the exact same place, right?
And so then what? Do you seriously think such a simple answer is the correct answer?
I just love how Nagito isn't as submissive as he was before.
Does that mean he's wrong? Oops, I guess I've said too much.
If the floor didn't rotate, then that means we need to think about the structure of the building again.
Bow down!
Oh, Sonia.
Then how about this? Somebody moved Nekomaru's body.
While we were moving from Grape Tower to Strawberry Tower,
Wasn't everyone together when we were moving to the
but
tower?
we should have all been together during that time.
Then Monokuma did it. While we were moving, Monokuma quickly moved things around.
But Nekomaru's body wasn't the only thing moved. Are you saying the broken pillar was moved too?
If it is too heavy to carry, let them roll it. Just like if there is no bread, let them eat cake.
Monokuma doesn't interfere with murders, though.
There are many different ways. The body and the pillar could have been moved. The pillar could have been rolled. And Nekomaru could have been moved piece by piece. I decree it was Monokuma's doing.
Oh shoot, I ran out of cuts. As expected of a princess, she's overcoming my arguments with great confidence. Her kingdom doesn't even exist. She's no princess. I need to counter her remarks and wait for an opportunity to refute
There are
her.
many different ways. The body and the pillar could have been moved. The pillar could have been rolled. And Nekomaru could have been moved piece by piece. I decree it was Monokuma's doing.
There we go. I just had
Moving
to
the
save
body
it.
and the pillar in such a short time. That might be hard even for Monokuma, don't you think?
If you
Oil
have
on the floor,
forgotten,
right?
Monokuma is surprisingly strong. Wielding the power of the futuristic Robo-Bear. The pillar, the body, everything at the crime scene.
There we
Allow
go.
me to cut through those words. Moving the body and pillar is possible, but it would have been impossible to move the oil on the floor. When the position of Nekomaru's body and the pillar changed, the oil surrounding his body moved too. Physically moving all of the oil like that is simply not possible, no matter how you look at it.
Then it's impossible to think it was moved.
I am terribly sorry. I cannot believe I got so fired up.
We were just giving
It's all right.
opinions.
A fired up Miss Sonia is awesome
There's
to watch.
nothing wrong with that, Sonia.
So what really happened? Does that mean the two towers aren't the same building?
We can't be certain of that either. Not when the experiment involving the handbook I left on the tower floor was a complete success.
Yeah, the e-handbook was still there. That's why we thought the two towers were the same building.
If they're not the same building or two different buildings, then what are they?
You also have to think about what Nagito did from when we went to the elevator to go back into, I believe, was Strawberry Tower? Because Hajime was like, he's like, there's no point in going back into Strawberry Tower because of the chains. And then when they got there, the chains weren't there.
No idea, huh?
This mystery ties into the secret of the funhouse. But we don't have enough clues to solve that mystery. Nagito does. Then the only thing we can do is rely on the one person who has those clues.
Hey, Nagito. I thought it would come to this. I knew my turn was coming up.
I love him in this trial.
I'll tell you guys a big hint that can help you solve the secret of the funhouse.
Give us the answer, not a friggin' hint.
But then it wouldn't mean anything. I need you guys to do this class trial properly. It's also important for me because it will help me determine something.
Determine? Is he talking about the traitor? If so, why did Nagito say that all of a sudden? Wait, how is this gonna determine the traitor? We already ruled out Hajime because he's part of that reserve course, I think it was.
But how do we know your hint is any good? It's suspicious that you're the only one who knows it.
I have a good reason for that. The reason I'm the only one who knows it is because I was the only one who performed the appropriate action.
Perform the appropriate action in order to learn the secret. What could be it talking about? It's a life-threatening game.
I see!
The goddamn thing that gave me a goddamn heart attack.
Talking about the final dead room, right?
Okay, look. To those of you who don't know, Ibuki and Hiyoko are in my top 3, right? They died. Both of them died in chapter 3. And my heart just broke. I still haven't even fully recovered. And then Nagito goes into the final dead room with that Russian roulette, and he plays with my heart by loading 5 bullets, giving him only a 1 in 6 chance of survival. I don't know.
You cleared the life-threatening game there and found something, didn't you?
That's right. The hint is what I saw after I cleared it. In the depths of the final dead room, there was a hidden room surrounded by concrete. And there, a small conspicuous window waited, all
yeah.
by itself.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know what was
From
there.
that window, I saw some very strange scenery.
Strange scenery?
Instead of explaining it, it might be faster just to show you. At an opportune time, I found a perfect camera in the final dead room.
Took a picture?
Yep.
Nagito grinned creepily as he retrieved a small digital camera from his inner pocket. He must have took that when we transferred back to Hajime.
See? This is it.
And as he said, he showed us a peculiar picture.
Let me explain it to you again.
Oh, so this isn't in the fun house. I mean, in the, what do you call it? The playground? The place where the roller coaster and all that was. I can't remember the name of it. A carnival or something.
I took this picture on the first floor of Strawberry House, from the secret room within the final dead room.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think it's weird? If the funhouse's structure is what you guys have been thinking, then there's lots of things that don't make sense in this picture, right?
It's taken from the first floor of that window. The fun house is on the first floor, and running right across it is Strawberry Hall. So that should be leading to Strawberry Tower, right? Lots of things that shouldn't make sense in this picture.
Then let's begin. Shall I call it thinking time?
Thinking time. What doesn't make sense in this picture? The trees?
Here!
Yeah. I just wanted to
You
check.
said this photo was taken from the hidden room inside the final dead room, right? If that's the case, then that means it should have been taken from the first floor of Strawberry House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should have been.
Then, this is definitely strange.
Mm-hmm.
This photo doesn't look like it was taken from the first floor. The angles suggest it was taken from higher up.
I see. And is that it?
Nagito says there are a lot of things that don't make sense in this photo, which means there are other contradictions contained in it. Wait, I didn't see any more. What doesn't make sense in this picture? Sky? Oh, really?
If the structure of the funhouse is what we thought it was, Grape House and Strawberry House should link to the tower in the middle. Which means, if you're viewing the tower from Strawberry House, you should see Grape House behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But in this photo, I don't see anything behind the tower. No shadow, no shape, no
I
Grape House
see.
at all.
I see.
That's right. Good call. In summary, this is the truth contained in this photo. The first floor of Strawberry House is located in a high area, and Grape House is not behind the tower.
It's not? Are you saying that Grape House is merely an illusion spell cast by Monokuma's cursed eye?
From this point on, do your own thinking. Now that you've finally met the same requirements as me.
Wait. So, from what I understand from what he's saying, it's like he's saying that Grape House and Strawberry House are the same. But how is that possible? Because they have separate dorms, separate lounges. They have separate rooms in general.
If you guys are truly symbols of hope, you can easily solve a simple mystery like this. It might be possible for Hajime to solve it too. Though he's just a normal high school student. Despite the fact that you don't have a real talent, you already know about the other clue.
The other clue? You talking about that one time? Why, hello there, Hajime. Nagito, why are you here? Because I showed up. Oh, he must be talking about the what do you call it? The door on the floor, the hatch. When he was joking around saying that maybe he teleported. Maybe I teleported.
You're referring to when you suddenly appeared on the second floor of Grape House, right?
I'm asking you just to be safe. At the time, where do you think I came from?
The top floor, right?
Such sharp eyes. So you realized it already?
Top floor. So the third floor?
But the Monokuma Archive should be the only room on the third floor of Grape House.
What does it mean?
So, if the only room in the third floor of Grape Tower, or was it Strawberry Tower? Well, whatever. Is the Monokuma Archive, and it was saying that from that window, Strawberry House is above those trees. Could it be that Grape House is actually under Strawberry House? The reason Nagito appeared from the third floor. Using the photo he took, I might be able to find the answer if I just think about it. Right, let's do it. No, not a Hangman's Gambit! Oh well, Logic Dive. Can I move these? Yeah, okay, that makes it better. Control. Oh right, I forgot that I have to move it like this. Wait, I forgot. What's... Okay, right click is, lock. Okay, I got it. I need to remember. Okay. I haven't done the Logic Dive yet. Okay. The Strawberry House and Grape House both exist. They definitely exist. Right? Yeah. Otherwise there wouldn't be a fun house to begin with. Damn, this thing is cheating me. Are Strawberry House and Grape House the same building or two different buildings? I say they're the same building. Nice. You know they're cheating by putting these random obstacles in here. How are Strawberry House and Grape House positioned? They are vertically, right? Yes, vertically. See? Nice! I did good.
It's all coming together.
See, I was right. I was right.
Got it. I know the secret of the funhouse.
Then let me hear it. What kind of answer will you give, I wonder?
In the picture Nagito took from Strawberry House, I didn't see Grape House at all. Where did Grape House go? There was only one possibility. It was in a position where it couldn't be seen from Strawberry House.
Yes, the Strawberry House has to be on top.
Which means Strawberry House and Grape House are in the same building, but on different floors.
Same building, different floors?
Then the two houses aren't two different 3-story buildings. They're actually one 6-story building?
If you think about it like that, based on Nagito's picture, it's clear where Strawberry House is located.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where Strawberry House is located, it's above Grape Tower.
I see! On top of Grape House. That's where Strawberry House is located. Because of that, the photo taken from the first floor of Strawberry House was at a high angle. Altogether, this means the first floor of Strawberry House is also the 4th floor above Grape House.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap! I never expected that the two houses were connected vertically.
But what about the shape of the building? The two houses were completely different shapes.
Strawberry House is 4-sided, and Grape House is 6-sided, right?
Yeah.
It never occurred to us that they were the same building because it was structured with 2 different shapes.
But what's weird is that, you know, the room, after you clear the dead room, is called the octagon. But octagons have 8 sides. So why do none of them have 8 sides? And even if they add up, that leads to 10 sides. So I still don't really get it.
A quadrilateral and a hexagon, overlaid atop each other to misdirect how we would perceive them. And it worked, didn't it?
Ah, I see.
Disregarding the tower, we fully believe the two houses were 2 separate, distinct buildings.
Because of how different their
In order
shapes
to
were.
conceal the unique design of the funhouse, Monokuma put us to sleep so we couldn't look at the outside of the building when he brought us to it.
Okay.
You've just been Kuma'd! Don't you think a building full of so many surprises totally deserves to be called a fun house?
Then, it's true? The building was really like that?
That's right! Those two houses exist on different floors in the same building!
This is why I love Nagito. He is so smart.
Constructing a building like that on your own without my knowledge? How horrible!
He's almost like the Kyoko of Danganronpa 2.
Then what about the towers? Are they arranged vertically just like the houses?
Yeah, Strawberry Tower and Grape Tower should have also been different floors inside the same building. Just like Strawberry House was on top of Grape House.
But then how do the elevators work? Because they were saying it moves a lot more smoothly. And remember, what do you call it? The elevator that Kazuichi was holding said it kept moving 180 degrees. So if it's one big cylinder, why was it moving like that?
Strawberry Tower was also on top of Grape Tower.
However, if they're different floors within the same building, why was Nekomaru's body in both places?
Aw, your precious hammies don't know? But it's so simple. Alrighty then. I'll be the one who solves this mystery in a flash. Please watch me, Miss Sonia.
Kazuichi be simping over Sonya.
Oh, I see. Do whatever you like.
I'll definitely make her watch me. I'm gonna stand out till she notices me.
Your Kazuichi is annoying, but he does have his funny parts. Okay.
I'm gonna solve this mystery in a flash.
Then hurry up, dumbass!
One of the bodies in one of the towers was actually a dummy.
You mean a fake body?
No.
Nekomaru died with a mechanical body. It should be possible to construct a dummy from spare parts.
You're magnificent, Gundam!
No fair! You totally stole my spotlight!
So which one was the fake body?
There is no fake
Shut
body.
up! Just pick one of them!
A dummy of Nekomaru's body existed? Does that mean the killer prepared it in advance? But is something like that even possible? No. I don't think it's a dummy.
I'm gonna solve this mystery in a flash!
And hurry up, dumbass!
One of the bodies in one of the towers
Hurry up and talk.
was actually a dummy!
No, that's wrong!
I don't get it. That doesn't make sense.
Nekomaru's body wasn't a dummy. That can be proven by Kazuichi's account.
How? Well, we know he was a robot, but how does feeling in the tower have to do with him not proving it's a dummy? Oh, right! Because when he was going to fix the button in the Strawberry Hall, he got the metal parts from Mekamaru's body. That makes sense now.
Me?
Remember? When we moved from Great Tower to Strawberry Tower, we thought the body had moved. And that's when you said,
Oh, unless I'm wrong. Not just that, the body parts I carefully arranged when I disassembled the body all moved too. Well, let's see.
right up until that moment,
I was
you were
close.
disassembling Nekomaru's body at Great Tower, right?
Yeah.
The killer couldn't have known how you'd take apart his body, so they couldn't have built a dummy.
That makes sense now.
Unless Kazuichi was the one who built the dummy, then it would be a different story.
Miss Sonia, that's a pretty harsh joke. You are joking, right?
It's alright. Kazuichi is not the killer.
Yeah, he's not even on my suspect list. I only have 2 people on my suspect list.
If he was, he wouldn't have fixed the elevator or the button in Strawberry Hall. It'd be much more convenient for the killer if it stayed broken.
I see. That is disappointing.
I'm even more disappointed.
However, even if Nekomaru's body wasn't a dummy, it's meaningless if we don't have the important answer.
The reason Nekomaru's body was in both towers, even though it was supposed to be on different floors.
Maybe it was simply moved?
We already proved that it wasn't
The
me.
body moved to a different floor?
You can't think of a device like that? A device that moves things to different floors in the same building?
You mean an elevator? A device like that? A device that transports things to different floors in the same building. I feel like I've seen that before. Alright, let's do this. Hangman's Gambit! Hooray! Wait. I think it's elevator. Yeah. Oh shoot. Whoops. Not yet. Just give me an E for even though elevator makes sense, it's still kind of weird. Need a V because it is very interesting that for some reason if the elevator is the tower, elevator, shoot. 3. Stop moving so fast. There we go. It was moving too fast.
You must be talking about an elevator.
What? Are you saying Nekomaru's body was transported using an elevator?
Where the hell is this elevator anyway?
It's the tower itself.
How though?
The inside of the tower is one big elevator.
And once it moves from tower to tower, the lights change it to make it look like one. And that's why when we went to investigate it with Nekomaru, we commented how high up the ceiling was. Okay.
Which means the tower was designed so that the whole room goes up and down like an elevator. So whether you enter from Strawberry Hall or Grape Hall, it all leads to the same room, right?
Oh, okay, I see.
So that's why we could only enter it from one side or the other.
Now that you mention it,
So it had nothing to do
sometimes
with
when I
it
pressed the
moving.
door button, it took a while for it to open.
I see. We were basically waiting for the room to arrive, just like an elevator.
Please hold on. If the inside of the whole tower ascends and descends like an elevator, then why is there a picture of a strawberry on the far back door when you enter from Grape Tower?
Oh, that's true.
And a picture of a grape on the far back door when you enter from Strawberry Tower?
If the room just moves up and down like an elevator, there's no reason for the doors to change.
Plus, after the incident, the far back door in Grape Tower had chains wrapped around it, right?
So that's why it was no problem when we went back to Grape Tower.
But when we entered Strawberry Tower, those chains were gone.
Not just that, but if I remember correctly, even the doorknob was broken off.
There are too many strange things. Was that tower really an elevator?
I mean, it makes sense now.
When you see people and things, make sure you focus on the good parts instead of the bad.
What did you say?
So, let's put aside what's changed and focus our attention on what hasn't.
Why do we have to do that?
It's fine. Come on. What does everything that hasn't changed have in common?
Things that didn't change when we moved between the two towers. The body, the pillar, and the oil. Yes, we've been talking about that for a while now. There shouldn't be anything strange about them, not even the fact that they all moved with the elevator. Yes, everything just looks different, except it's just different color. They're on the same floor.
I see!
There we go.
Is it safe to say that all the items on the floor didn't change?
And
And?
why did the picture on the far back door change? If you can figure that out, you'll have the answer.
Picture meaning the door?
reason is because that elevator has something unique about it.
There's a unique thing about the elevator. Only the floor moves?
I see! So that's it. The elevator was designed so only the floor moved.
Only the floor moved?
Which means the whole room wasn't an elevator, only the floor was. That's why we saw different doors in each tower. Which means on the first floor of Grape Tower, the door on the far back wall had a strawberry design. And on the fourth floor, which was Strawberry Tower, a different door on the far back wall had a grape design.
Then, where do the different floors lead?
To the different houses. Or
I
tower.
want to say they lead outside, but they're probably just for show.
just for show. Why was something like that necessary?
To fool us into thinking that it were separate
So we
towers.
falsely believed that the doors were connected to where their picture signified. It was actually very effective. Because of that, we totally misunderstood the building's structure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. But I guess it means whoever designed this building had a totally twisted personality.
Did you hear that, Monami?
Don't blame this on me. Take responsibility for yourself.
Then I'll take responsibility and gently caress you.
Monami alone.
Wait, there's no way that's gonna happen. Stop with the tasteless jokes.
By the way, what does the chain on the far back door in Grape Tower mean?
It was probably wrapped there by the killer to keep us as far from Strawberry Tower as possible.
Why?
Because of that chain. You guys thought you couldn't enter there, right?
Like you said, I could probably use these parts to repair the button, but seriously, hold on. Even if you repair the button, what's going to happen to the chain on the other side of the door? Chain? The door that leads to Strawberry Hall has a chain wrapped around the doorknob. Even if you fix the button on the Strawberry Hall side, the door won't open as long... Oh, whoops. You don't need to worry about that at all. Huh?
The killer destroyed the Strawberry Hall button, so we'd stay away from Strawberry Tower. Everything was done to tamper with the evidence, so we wouldn't find out about the secret of the funhouse. The appearance of a body in the tower would contradict what we thought we knew about the building. In that situation, if we'd gone to Strawberry Tower, we'd have seen that contradiction firsthand.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And using that as a clue, we might have discovered the truth. The truth that the two houses and the two towers are actually one complete vertical building. The killer wanted to keep us from learning that. That's why they made us stay away from Strawberry Tower.
So they definitely cleared the final death room. They definitely cleared that.
They destroyed the button and wrapped a chain around the door just for that?
Would it really have inconvenienced the killer if we learned the true structure of the building?
It would have been a major inconvenience. After all, this funhouse is strongly connected to the ultimate weapon that killed Nekomaru.
Hold on. You're progressing much too quickly. There's still a contradiction concerning the building structure.
What a pain. It's fine already.
Gundam, please proceed.
You said earlier that Strawberry House and Grape House are connected vertically, right?
Mm-hmm.
If so, how does the contact elevator supposedly transport us from one house to the other?
With the button. I see. Now that you mention it, I completely forgot about that matter.
If that elevator moves vertically, then when your back is facing the elevator, both towers should be on the same side. But does this reflect reality? Inside Grape House, Grape Hall is on your right when your back is to the elevator.
Grape Hall is on your right. Your back is to the elevator. Yeah?
And inside Strawberry House, Strawberry Hall is on your left when your back is to the elevator.
Uh-huh.
Which means the houses are on exact opposite sides of the tower. Answer me, fiend! What does this mean?
What does this mean?
It means that the elevator has to move differently too. Because of the compass thing that Kazuichi did. But in fact, my back was facing the elevator in the Grape House, the tower was on my right. And when my back was facing the elevator in Strawberry House, the tower was on my left. How can I break this contradiction? It has to be with the 180 thing. What's Kazuichi's thing? I want to make sure what Kazuichi uses again. Is his the wire? I mean the compass? Contact elevator. I had to move between both houses were broken. Apparently broken the grape house side. So the last person. Okay. Apparently the compass's needle spun 180 degrees while it was... Okay, so it's Kazuichi's account.
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, at both houses, if the contact elevator is behind you, the towers are in opposite directions.
Which means your reasoning...
It's clearly contradictory.
What's with this iron curtain of teamwork?
I think I have to shoot down what Gundam says. So Gundam and Sonia have matching arguments. It sounds like it makes sense, but... is that really correct?
If the two houses are connected vertically...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
Here we go.
No, that's wrong. The elevator wasn't just moving vertically. Isn't that right, Kazuichi?
Huh? Me?
Come on. You used the elevator while you were holding that compass Nagito gave you, right?
Ah, that. Yeah, that was pretty strange. From start to finish, somehow the compass needle rotated 180 degrees.
Rotated 180 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, as the elevator moved between the two houses, it also rotated 180 degrees.
See, I was right! I was right again!
Perimeter as it rotated to the other side. Which means the exit would be on the opposite side once you arrived at the other house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And thanks to that, the tower we saw on our right side when we arrived at Grape House appeared on our left side when we were at Strawberry House.
An elevator that rotates while it moves. Is that even possible? It's like something from an amusement park.
Amusement park, that's the word.
Well, a funhouse is an amusement park attraction, you know. And since the building doesn't really need to be structurally practical, it makes for some splendid fun.
That's not splendid at all. You're inhuman.
You say I'm inhuman, but I'm just a bear. So I was never human to begin with. I'm different from these lowly humans.
So we're done with the secret of the funhouse, right? Then let's start talking about the important stuff. What's the ultimate weapon that killed Nekomaru? And how'd they combine it with the pillar?
Huh? You still don't know what the ultimate weapon is yet? It's what I found at the Octagon, you know.
What is the Octagon? I haven't heard about that yet.
Oh my... I can't believe I have to explain that now. As long as you know what an octagon means, you can solve this simple mystery easily.
What does an octagon mean? An 8-sided shape.
I see!
Nagito is so
An octagon
funny.
is a shape with 8 sides, right?
I didn't expect you to know that. For a substitute reserve course student, you're quite knowledgeable. I guess I should continue listening. Where is the place befitting of the name Octagon?
The place befitting of the name Octagon is probably...
Here!
the halls?
You're talking about the secret room surrounded by concrete in the depths of the final dead room.
Why is that place the Octagon?
You know how the 4-sided strawberry house is on top of the 6-sided grape house?
Mm-hmm.
If you cut a 4-sided shape out of a 6-sided one, you get 8 edges. It becomes an 8-sided shape.
Oh, I see.
That's basically the gist of it. The true identity of the Octagon is that secret room in the depths of the final dead room.
Which is the separation between Strawberry House and Grape House.
In actuality, that place contained various weapons.
Then the ultimate weapon was there too?
That's a little different. I learned the true identity of the ultimate weapon at the Octagon. Learned? The true identity of the ultimate weapon is the Funhouse, which means the killer used the building structure as their weapon and killed Nekomaru. Like me, the killer probably realized the secret of the Funhouse from the scenery, and then thought of a way to kill making use of the building structure.
The funhouse itself is the weapon, so they killed using the building structure?
That's why the killer tried to keep us from learning the mystery of the building.
I mean, it makes sense, but I don't get how it could be used as a weapon.
But more importantly, using the building itself as a weapon? Such a spectacular crime. It truly deserves to be called the ultimate weapon.
Funhouse is the true identity of the ultimate weapon? What does this mean? How did the killer use that to murder Nekomaru? And who is the killer who did that? I got it, Monami.
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon. Oh well, let's just press on ahead.
Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily?
I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Nekomaru's murderer?
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
Nagito was the only one stupid enough to go through that Russian roulette.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
Exactly.
He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I will sincerely retract that remark.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too, you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder. Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can. Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Akane! You were drooling waterfalls?
Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
How they killed Nekomaru.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
It was a blunt force trauma. He was horribly damaged, as if he was beaten senseless with a blunt object. But if he was beaten with a blunt object, it wouldn't be a kill that utilized this building structure. So what was Nekomaru's cause of death that also utilized the... falling?
I see!
That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
Because that explains the wire, since it was tied to his leg. It could have been possible that, I don't know from where, he was connected, and then maybe when the elevator started moving, the wire cut and that's how he fell. That also explains the huge bang that everyone heard too.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method. Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? That is a good question. I don't know that yet. If I'm going to reach the truth behind the incident, I need to solve that mystery next.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on, did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open.
It has to be his good
Which
night
means
button.
the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
I need to make it clear so they understand that Nekomaru fell to his death. Looks like it's all up to me.
When the
No, it's his
elevator
good
is on
night
the
button.
1st floor, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible to...
Then, after locking they moved the elevator and made use of the...
Hold on, as long as there's a moving object inside.
No, that's wrong.
Because remember, Nekomaru said that,
That sensor should only work if something is moving.
what do you call it? That when he's in sleep mode, he's like really vulnerable. So that
If Nekomaru
includes
wasn't moving
being in sleep
the
mode.
elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from, yes?
That's what I was about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me.
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
A way to create the drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru is still in it. Chiaki seems to have an idea, but what way could that be? I don't know. The wire?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
Okay.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is...
The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the
Oh.
floor?
It could be the
The doorknob on
hammer.
the floor seems suspicious.
How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Silence, pest!
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
Nekomaru is inside the elevator. How can you create a difference in the elevation?
If you arrange it a certain way, You can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
Yeah.
That arrangement is...
The hammer is suspicious.
Kind of
Isn't it
feeling
about
it's
time
the
we went over the pillar
wire.
again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems
Let's try
suspicious.
this. There we go. That makes sense. The metal wire gets
Didn't the
tied
doorknob
onto
have
the
scrape marks on it?
doorknob. And they had the scrape marks on it.
That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob,
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
Huh?
The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
You better not finish that sentence.
Yeah, don't finish that sentence.
the killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves.
Okay.
By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Kazuichi.
So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that. Why? If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall. Even if they suspended Nekomaru, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him up. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time if you want to take back that. But in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story.
The radio clock? Well, thanks to Kazuichi, I figured out how to drop Nekomaru. Alright, if I use that evidence, I should be able to break through Kazuichi's remarks. The time of death was 5:30 a.m. The clock set in Nekomaru was set at 7 a.m.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own?
Let's try
Nekomaru
this.
should have still been in sleep mode, right? Allow me
Oh,
to cut through those
okay.
words.
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
Oh, I get it now. I get how he died now.
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why, if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right? Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, In order to make it fall from the force it was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
Yeah.
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
Considering how heavy he is,
When
of
Nekomaru
course.
awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, I should use my full power. Whoa. With a fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands. But... Not yet. Here it comes. The power, incredibly strength, Wait, isn't it creaking? If you break the doorknob, we'll be stuck in here. So I was right, again. Then that's the clue Nekomaru left for us to
I
find.
see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
Oh, Kazuichi, you're just annoying, but you're not a
Isn't
pig.
that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy, he gets off on this.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down. That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
It doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight down into the floor. The moment Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think that happened to him was... he collided to the pillar.
I see.
I mean, that's how oil got
Nekomaru
onto the
fell to
pillar, and
floor.
that's how it
He
fell.
ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Baby gangsta.
Stop calling me Baby Gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nah, that's impossible. Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
Another mystery I don't understand. Seriously, it's just one after another. But I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue to breaking through this contradiction. It has to do with the clock. Fuyuhiko's account.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
Yeah?
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Yes, it was.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest. That's gotta be it!
Clock alarm's timer. The alarm caused Nekomaru's death ring. The alarm that caused Nekomaru's death rang at 7:30 a.m. But we discovered his body before 7 a.m. We need to crush one possibility at a time if I'm going to break through this contradiction.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
It's radio clock again? Clock in Nekomaru's chest receives radio waves at fixed intervals and automatically adjusts itself if its time is off. Basically, it's an amazingly precise clock that can't be tampered with. Okay, there's a contradiction.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7. Nekomaru died.
His time of death and one of those must.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside.
There we go.
No, that's wrong! No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
This time-related contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. Doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. Think. If I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Please don't be a Hangman's Gambit. Can the speed one be like shift, please, since it's a bigger button? heck happened to my computer? I know Joke wanna cry right now.
It's all coming together.
I wanna cry
You said
so
you checked all
bad.
the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right, that's the main problem. I need to clarify how much of time had passed after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the next mystery. I'm going to reach the truth in one go. Not if I have anything to do with it.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's
Wait, I
radio.
want to see something. Okay.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
If only I heard the sound when you fell. It would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
I think I have to shoot down what Akane says.
If the time in the building
What's
was all messed
Akane's
up,
account?
then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7.
The problem is, in our time.
Are there any clues that can be...
If only I heard the sound when you fell.
Oh wait, no, it's what Sonya says.
I agree with that.
Can you hear the pain and sorrow in my voice?
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
Where?
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonya?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
Oh wait, no, because they were in soundproof rooms.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
The same with Nagito, since he was in the luxury room. He couldn't
There's
hear it
nothing to worry
either.
about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
That rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30 a.m. It's like the answer to how much of our time was off. If it was at 7... 2 hours.
Let's see! Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Lure out only Nekomaru?
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Besides messing with the time, the killer also used a specific thing. If they were trying to lure only Nekomaru, then that specific thing is... the clock alarm? No. Okay. Wait, it has to be the Tai Chi.
I see!
Because that's at 7 a.m.
That's it! The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Grape Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. Doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
And when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning...
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Jeez, how outrageous! I honestly didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turns out like this. It turned out like this after all, so I guess it can't be helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez! That's... well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
Slip of the tongue?
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Huh?
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
He's gonna use Fuyuhiko being up at 5 a.m. as to treat him as a suspect.
What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. There was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi.
Are you
for
talking
when
about
Nekomaru fell?
Nagito?
Who is it? Who's the bastard?
Whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time, right? He's talking about Nagito, isn't he?
You're the only one!
He even joked around at
The
the
one who
time.
wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something!
But Sonia literally just said before that she wouldn't have heard. She didn't even hear the crash.
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
You couldn't?
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me.
See?
It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Huh?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it, but it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noise were Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The secret, is what these three have in common. Could this also be a secret point that leads to the killer? It is the soundproof rooms. Wait, what's X for? D. Oh, deluxe. Let's move. Good thing I figured it out before. See, this is easy. Not the goddamn logic dive that literally made me almost cry.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are
They're soundproof. The guest rooms are divided up by quality grade. The deluxe room is soundproof and has excellent air insulation. The standard room may have so-so insulation, but it's pretty decent. And the crummy room has severe airflow and draft problems.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation. You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve course?
I don't know why I
talent?
find it funny when he does that.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Somehow, I feel like I understand what Nagito means. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. Wait, I still have my 2 suspects!